I'm 94, I live alone, and take zero medications. These 5 morning habits changed everything. Have you ever asked yourself, what if getting older didn't have to mean feeling slower, weaker, or more tired? What if those stiff joints, groggy mornings, and all the pills everyone talks about weren't actually inevitable? My name's Ruth Miller. I'm 94 years old. I live by myself, don't take a single prescription, and according to my doctor, I'm as healthy as someone in their 60s. When he looked at my latest checkup results last year, he simply blinked and asked, "What's your secret?" Truth is, it's not really a secret at all. Just 5 simple things I do every single morning. There's nothing fancy about them. No pricey routines, no complicated gadgets. Just quiet, consistent habits that have kept me strong, sharp, and full of life, even as so many around me are told to take it easy and settle into decline. Here's the surprising part. One of these habits takes less than 60 seconds, and yet most people over 70 skip it entirely. And that tiny decision? It could be stealing your energy and memory little by little, without you even realizing it. But it doesn't have to be that way. I've watched too many of my friends slowly lose their spark, not from some sudden health emergency, but from overlooking the small, daily things that quietly matter most. That's why I'm sharing this with you. Because the way you spend the first hour of your morning? It can either lift you up, or gradually drag you down. So stick with me, because I'll walk you through each one of these 5 habits, starting with the one almost nobody talks about. Before we dive in, can I ask just one small favor? If staying healthy, independent, and mentally strong means something to you, go ahead and share this with someone you care about. You never know who might need it. And if you feel like it, tell me where you're watching from. It's always heartwarming to see how people from all across the country are taking control of their health, one morning at a time. Alright, let's get to it. The very first thing I do, even before brushing my teeth, pulling back the curtains, or looking at my phone. I drink a full glass of water with just a tiny pinch of natural sea salt. That's it. Just room temperature water and a dash of real salt. Not fancy Himalayan bottles or expensive supplements. Just plain water with a little mineral-rich salt, set on my nightstand so it's the first thing I reach for when I wake up. Now you may be thinking, really? Just water? But here's what most people don't realize. Every night while we sleep, our bodies lose almost a full liter of water just through breathing and sweating. We don't feel it happening, but we're already starting our day mildly dehydrated. And when you're older, dehydration doesn't just make you thirsty, it messes with your joints, memory, balance, digestion, everything. And what's the first thing most of us grab in the morning? Coffee or tea. But caffeine pulls even more water out of your body. So if that's the first thing you reach for, you're starting the day on empty. But once I made this tiny change, water first, before anything, I noticed the difference almost instantly. The stiffness in my knees eased up. The fog in my head that I had just accepted as part of aging, it cleared. My digestion got better too. It was like my whole body whispered, "Thank you?" And science agrees. A study from Johns Hopkins found that even mild dehydration in seniors can reduce brain function by up to 30%. That's a massive drop, just from skipping water first thing. And here's what makes it even more effective: that tiny pinch of unprocessed sea salt. Not regular table salt, but real stuff like pink Himalayan or Celtic sea salt. It's full of trace minerals like magnesium and potassium, nutrients that help your body use the water you drink, instead of just flushing it away. It's like giving your cells a key to unlock hydration. This tiny habit takes less than a minute, but I call it the first 60 seconds that change everything. Because it truly sets the tone for my entire day. It wakes up the body, lubricates the joints, clears the mind, and kickstarts digestion, all before I even leave bed. So tonight, before you go to sleep, set a glass of water on your nightstand. Add a pinch of real salt. Tomorrow morning, drink it before you do anything else. Just 1 glass. 1 minute. That's it. You might think it's too small to matter, but this is exactly the kind of small act that can keep us strong, independent, and energized long into our golden years. Let your body feel the difference, and see how it responds. Up next, I'm going to share a habit that's just as simple, but has quietly become one of the best kept secrets to improving mood, boosting energy, and sleeping better. The morning habit that costs nothing but can reset your entire day. Right after I finish that first glass of water with a pinch of sea salt, I move into something that might sound too simple to make a difference, but trust me, it's one of the most powerful changes I've ever made. I step outside. That's it. I open the door, step into the fresh air, whether it's sunny, cloudy, chilly, or warm, and I let the natural morning light hit my face and eyes. I don't go for a walk. I don't water the plants. I just stand there. Sometimes I sit on a chair and breathe quietly for 10 or 15 minutes. This small habit has become as essential to me as brushing my teeth. And you might be wondering, how can stepping outside do anything for your health? Well, it has everything to do with something most of us forget about, our circadian rhythm, the internal clock that controls your energy levels, your sleep quality, your digestion, your immune system, even your memory and mood. And that clock? It needs to be reset every morning. But not with coffee, not even with breakfast. It needs light. Specifically, natural outdoor light. When morning light enters your eyes directly, not through a window, and not with sunglasses, it sends a message to your brain that says, "It's morning, let's begin the day." This triggers your body to release energizing hormones at the right time and calming ones later in the evening. That's how your rhythm stays in balance. Without it, that inner clock drifts. And when it drifts, everything starts to feel off. You might sleep poorly. You might feel irritable or anxious for no reason. Your energy gets inconsistent, and even digestion can get sluggish. There's research showing that seniors who miss this early light are significantly more likely to experience poor sleep, low mood, and even muscle loss. One study even linked missing morning light to a 70% increased risk of depression. And yet, most people have no idea. But I felt the difference. Once I started going outside first thing, even on gloomy days, things began to shift. I was sleeping better. Waking up more refreshed. My energy stayed steady all day. I felt lighter, calmer, and more in rhythm with my body than I had in years. And here's the best part, it's free. No pills, no programs, no gadgets. Just nature doing what it's always done, resetting our bodies with gentle morning light. Now, there's a catch, it has to be actual outdoor light. Light coming through a window doesn't have the same effect, and sunglasses block the signal. It needs to hit your eyes directly, but of course, don't stare at the sun. So tomorrow morning, I encourage you, step outside. Even just for 5 minutes. Let the breeze touch your face. Let the natural light greet you. You don't need to do anything, just be. Let your nervous system feel the peace. Let your body remember how it feels to begin the day in balance. That one habit helps me stay clear-headed, emotionally steady, and truly rested. I believe it can do the same for you. Before we move to the next habit, I'd love to ask, have you ever tried this? Just stepping outside before anything else? If you have, how did it make you feel? And where are you watching from? I'd love to know, because your story might inspire someone else to give it a try. Alright, now we're moving into a habit that's just as crucial as hydration or sunlight, but this one is for the mind. Because what good is a strong body if your mind doesn't feel sharp and steady? Let's talk about something I call the 4-minute fire starter. It's not a workout, and it's not meditation, though in many ways it feels like both, but for your brain. Each morning, I give my mind just 4 minutes of deliberate, focused stimulation. That's it. 4 minutes to wake up my brain, to keep my memory active, and my thinking sharp. And I've been doing it for years. I honestly believe it's one of the biggest reasons I'm still mentally clear in my 90s, like I was in my 50s. Here's what I do. I begin with a small mental challenge. Usually, I pick a quick math problem in my head. Nothing complicated, just some light addition or subtraction to get the neurons firing. It's like stretching your brain the way you'd stretch your muscles before a walk. Then I switch gears and recall a vivid memory. Something meaningful, like my 30th birthday dinner or a trip to Chicago I once took with my younger brother. I try to see it clearly. The smells, the sights, the feelings. This isn't just memory, it's connection. It's identity. It reminds me of who I am. After that, I take out a small notebook I keep by my bed and review 4 new words I've written down over the week. They might be words I've heard on TV or seen in a crossword puzzle. I say them out loud, think about their meanings, and imagine how I'd use them in conversation. These small efforts are like doing push-ups for my vocabulary and confidence. Lastly, I close my eyes, breathe in deeply, and visualize my day. I picture it, what I'll do, who I'll talk to, how I want to feel. That gives me purpose. It helps me start with direction instead of just drifting. This might all sound simple, but researchers at Harvard found that this kind of early mental activation can increase your brain's adaptability, called neuroplasticity, by nearly 37%. That's like turning your brain from slow mode into high performance. I think of it like gardening. If you water your brain in the morning, it blooms. But if you neglect it, weeds creep in, and over time, those weeds become forgetfulness, fog, or worse. This 4-minute ritual has carried me through hospital stays, stress, even grief. Because no matter what the day brings, I've already started with clarity. And for me, this habit isn't just about fighting decline. It's about protecting something far more valuable, freedom. When your mind is sharp, you stay in control. You make your own choices. You live life on your terms. So tomorrow, I challenge you, give yourself 4 quiet minutes. Try one part of it. Maybe recall a joyful memory. Or say a new word out loud. Just start somewhere. Because your brain is still listening. It's never too late to remind it just how capable it still is. The 7-minute routine that helped me walk without a cane again. Let me tell you something most people over 70 never hear. You don't have to wake up in pain. For years, I assumed that the aches in my back, the tightness in my knees, and the slow, creaky movements in the morning were just a normal part of aging. So, like many others, I tried to be good to my body with stretching. You know the routines: twist this way, touch your toes, do those exercises everyone tells you will keep you limber. But by lunchtime, my back would be sore, my knees were swelling, and I needed to lie down just to recover. I thought, well, I guess this is just what getting old feels like. But I was wrong. This brings me to my 4th daily habit, the one that completely changed how I move through life. I call it strategic mobility. It's not yoga. It's not standard stretching. And it definitely doesn't involve pushing my body into uncomfortable positions. This is something gentler, smarter, and far more effective for the body, especially as we age. Here's the truth: most of those old stretching routines were designed for younger bodies, ones with springier muscles and flexible joints. But as we get older, our tissues stiffen, joints become more sensitive, and movements that used to feel good can now do more harm than help. Nobody told me that. And I see far too many seniors doing stretches that actually cause inflammation or even tiny tears in their tissues without realizing it. So now, instead of forcing my body through those motions, I do a 7-minute seated mobility flow that's quiet, respectful, and actually works. Yes, seated. I begin in a sturdy chair. No floor work. No downward dog. Just a comfortable, safe place to start. From there, I roll my shoulders slowly. I circle my ankles. I gently rock my hips side to side. I rotate my spine, just a few inches at a time. Nothing fast. Nothing forced. I breathe. I listen to how my body feels. And I build movement gently, from the inside out. I like to think of it as having a quiet conversation with my body every morning, saying, "Hey, I'm here. Let's wake up together." This short sequence focuses on the parts that stiffen the most overnight: your spine, hips, ankles, knees, and shoulders. And each movement is small, safe, and completely pain-free. And here's the miracle: after just 2 weeks of doing this, I let go of the walker I had been relying on for almost a year. That's right, no more dragging that clunky thing across the living room. I wasn't afraid of steps anymore. I wasn't clinging to furniture to feel stable. A month later, I was back to driving myself to the grocery store. And by the 6th week, I felt more balanced, more in control of my body than I had in years. Not like I could run a marathon, but strong enough to take care of myself, and most importantly, I stopped being afraid of my body. I didn't panic in the shower. I didn't dread getting out of bed at night. That quiet fear that so many older adults live with, the fear of falling, of breaking something, of being helpless, it started to disappear. Because when you give your body just 7 minutes of gentle movement every morning, it gives you something back that's more valuable than any pill or product: freedom. This isn't magic, it's science. It's about meeting your body where it is today, not where it was 30 years ago. That shift in mindset is everything. You're not trying to become a gymnast at 80 or 90. You're just reclaiming the ability to move through your day, comfortably, confidently, without hesitation. So if you've ever felt stiff, unsteady, or frustrated with your body, please know there is a better way. And it doesn't require a gym, a trainer, or expensive equipment. Just 7 quiet minutes, a chair, and your breath. That's it. Try it tomorrow morning. Sit comfortably. Roll your ankles. Rotate your spine. Move gently. Breathe deeply. Listen to your body. This habit gave me my freedom back. And it might just do the same for you. Before we move on to the 5th and final habit, I want to ask, have you ever tried something like this? A morning routine that focuses on mobility? If you have, I'd love to know what worked for you. If you'd like, I can even create a follow-along version of the exact movements I do each day. Just say the word. Now let's move into something I believe is crucial, maybe even the most overlooked health habit among seniors. It's simple, and it starts with your very first meal of the day. The most overlooked breakfast habit that keeps me strong at 94. Let's talk about breakfast, because if you're over 70 and still skipping protein in the morning, I want to gently warn you. You could be losing the strength and stability your body needs to stay independent. Now, this isn't fear-mongering, it's biology. After we hit our mid-60s, our bodies naturally start losing muscle faster. And if we're not doing something about it, that muscle quietly disappears, especially if we're not giving it what it needs first thing in the morning. For years, I believed a light breakfast was the healthy choice. A piece of toast, maybe a banana, and a cup of tea, that felt clean and gentle on my stomach. But I was wrong. Research out of Tufts University shows that seniors who eat protein early in the day retain more lean muscle than those who wait until dinner to get their protein in. Why? Because after a night of fasting, your muscles are hungry. Skip that morning opportunity, and your body may start breaking down muscle tissue just to support other systems. And once that muscle is gone, it's very, very hard to build back. So now, I treat breakfast like my muscle meal. It's not an afterthought. It's a priority. Most mornings, I aim for at least 25 grams of protein, and I'm consistent. Sometimes I'll have 2 scrambled eggs with a side of cottage cheese. Other days I'll make a smoothie with Greek yogurt, chia seeds, and a handful of berries. And if I'm short on time, I keep a protein shake in the fridge, ready to go. What matters most is that I never start my day without fueling my muscles. And the benefits? Oh, they go beyond strength. This habit helps with my energy, keeps my blood sugar steady, clears up the mental fog, and lifts my mood. It's the reason I can still carry groceries, clean my home, and climb stairs on my own, even at 94. I'm not doing this to impress anyone. I'm doing it because I want to live, not just get by. I want to keep picking out my own clothes, cooking my meals, and making my bed. I don't want to depend on someone else for those basic things. And honestly, protein at breakfast has made all the difference. So there you have it, my 5 simple, powerful morning habits that help me live strong, medication-free, and completely independent at 94. A glass of water with natural sea salt. Stepping outside for natural morning light. 4 quiet minutes to wake up the mind. 7 minutes of gentle mobility from a chair. A protein-rich breakfast to support muscle and energy. I know, it sounds simple. And it is. But these habits have changed how I age, how I feel, and how I live. And here's what I want you to know, you don't have to start all 5 tomorrow. In fact, I didn't either. When I began this journey, I was stiff, tired, forgetful, and wondering if the rest of life would just be more of the same. But I made one small change, then another, and another. And slowly, day by day, everything started to shift. My energy came back. My balance improved. My mind cleared. And I stopped feeling like I was fading. Most importantly, I started to feel like myself again. Not fragile. Not forgotten. But alive. Here's what I've learned in almost a century of living. Aging itself isn't the problem. It's feeling disconnected from your body, your mornings, your purpose, that steals your joy. How you begin your day decides everything. Your thoughts, your strength, your emotions, even your relationships. It determines whether you're leading your life or just reacting to it. And the beautiful thing is, you still have time. Whether you're in your 60s, 70s, 80s, or beyond, you're not too old to start. You're not too far gone. You're not behind. Your body is listening. Your brain is waiting. All it takes is one small choice to say, "Today I choose me." So start tomorrow. Don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Don't wait until you feel ready. Just start. Pick one habit. Maybe water. Maybe light. Maybe protein. Just pick one. And from that one quiet moment, everything can begin to change. If any part of this story spoke to you, I'd love to hear from you. What will you try first? Or are you already doing something similar? Drop a note, share where you're from, and let's create a community where we inspire each other to live longer, stronger, and more fully, no matter our age. Because listen, at 94 I live alone. I take no meds. I don't have a nurse checking in. But every morning, I wake up hopeful. Not because everything's perfect, but because I've built a morning that makes me feel ready. And I want that for you too. Take a deep breath. You're worth the effort. And tomorrow morning? Do just one thing differently. Because growing older doesn't have to mean giving up. It can mean freedom. It can mean strength. It can be the best chapter of your life yet. I believe that. And I believe in you.